Who am I? That's an amazing question. And so if I were to go back and say who I am, my name is Dr. Sharon Arrindell, and so many things come behind that. What's my superpower? My superpower is God. He's my kryptonite. And I know that because he took a party girl and turned her into a pastor. And so who does that but God? And so today I am so grateful for who I am, because I am an evidence of his brilliance to bring hope to the hopeless. Threaded me in my mother's womb, and he didn't miss a stitch in the tapestry. That's who I am, and that's my superpower. I remember like it was yesterday, but it was actually 1999, and a hurricane came flooding through New York, of all places. I stood at the big glass door of my home, my basement, and I put my foot down on the floor, and the water came rushing into our home. My children and I were sitting there like sitting ducks, but I knew I had to do something, so I put them on the stairs. They were 8 and 6 years old. And I stood there wondering in my mind, was in shock, I think. I was wondering in my mind, where is the water gonna go when it gets to the top? And before you knew it, it was at the top, and the whole glass door caved into our basement. And I just stood there, still in shock. However, my daughter screamed and we ran, and we just kept on running. I had no idea where we were going, but we were swimming through muddy water to get to safety, and we got to safety. The rest of that is all of history because that was 1999 and this is 2024. And so I just thank God that we came out of that, but on the edge of that, I also became a single mom. The rest of that is another history story to go down in the books, which they have. And so I'm grateful today. I'm grateful for my story. I'm grateful for the hurricane even, because it made me who I am today, strong, powerful, resilient, courageous, and oh so much more. Hey everybody, I don't want anybody to guess my age, so I get to tell you. I get to tell you at 64 that I learned over the years resilience, how to recover quickly from stuff that just wants to take you out. I learned how to recover quickly. I learned courage in the face of unseeming danger that came from the north, the south, the east, and the west. But the biggest thing I've learned is that failure is just success turned upside down. And when you flip the switch on failure, you begin to be successful. And so that is what I have learned over the years of my life. 64, I can't even believe I'm here at 64, but thank you, God. Thank you, God, that I am courageous, resilient, and successful. Well, 21. Where was I at 21? I was partying back. Church girl, going to all the parties that she could, and finding herself in party heaven, so to speak, and messing up, becoming a liar to her parents just so she could sneak out of the house and do all kind of crazy things. And you would think at 21 you could do whatever you want, but not in a Jamaican household. And so if I could go back and talk to that girl, what would I say? I would say to that girl, when the fire gets hot, just rise. Rise from the ashes, because if there's ashes, that means there was a fire. But your job is to rise. What else could I say to that girl? Crawl, because in crawling, you learn how to fly, like the butterfly that has become my favorite creature of all times. And on the end of that, on the end of doing all of that, you find that success is not at all what you thought it was going to be, but much, much bigger than that, and much, much bigger than you. So fly, young lady, crawl if you will, but at the end of the day, jump off on nothing and exhibit faith in God that can move all kinds of mountains. Okay, so I'm in survivor mode right now. I am a survivor, survived so many things that some of them are a blur. Can't even remember, don't even want to talk about, but I'm a survivor, surviving, but what I want to do is thrive. I want to thrive. The idea for me coming up is to be wealthy, find my wealthy place, but not for the reason that you think. I want to find my wealthy place so I could give in abundance and not just in drips and drab. I don't want to just give $20 here, $30 over there, or even $100. I want to be able to give thousands of dollars to places like St. Jude, Shriners, you know. I recently was able to speak virtual in Pakistan. I want to be able to give to Pakistan. I want to be able to give to the Caribbean, Africa, all over the world, but bringing it home, I just want to be able to give to my church and my community more than I do now. I want to give, give, give. So in order to do that, I have to be in health, in wealth, in abundance. I have to be crucial and critical about everything. And I know that at the end of the day, I get to give. No longer fearful, but so very fearless. Fearless and courageous is who I am. And as a result, I get to give and give and give until I can't give anymore, not just financially, but in so many, many, many different ways. Thank you, God. I get to give. So the biggest question of the day for me would be, why do people hire us? Why do people hire Inspired Wholeness Enterprise? Well, we call ourselves a school, Inspired Wholeness School. We get to teach people how to be leaders behind the walls of the church and even beyond the walls. We are Inspired Wholeness Ministries, where we get to preach and teach in church. We are Wholeness Counseling and Coaching Service, where we get to counsel and coach people. And for me, that would be couples, most of all. And so I get to counsel pre-marriage, marriage, and divorce care. Why? Because I've been in every single one of those situations, and I know them like the back of my hand. I didn't have to go to school to become a doctor to know what it means to be whole and well. And so I get to take people from the fragment of their lives, the brokenness, into a place of wholeness. And if I could give a story on that, my most recent story would be when I counseled a couple that was about to be married. And I asked all the questions, keeping it real, keeping it authentic, leaving nothing out. And at the end of the day, you know, they do get to be married. Not all of my pre-marriage couples get to be married because they don't have it right. They don't understand what love really is. I ask them all the time, and I get so many different answers, but love is patient, and kind. It suffers long. It holds no record of wrong. And I get to tell them that with a straight face, because I know that that's what it will take to be a couple with the foundation of God at the root of your marriage. And so with that particular couple, I made my way through all the weeks, 10 weeks with me. And at the end of it, I got to marry them. I got to perform their wedding. And for me, that is the biggest deal of all. And that's what makes my company great. It's great because I am great. I am great, and I am grateful. Grateful to God that He came along to this party girl and turned her into a pastor after His heart. Today has been grand. It's been amazing. I've met some amazing people, starting with Shay Brown, who saw fit to get me here, all the way from Florida to snowy, cold Washington, D.C. But at the end of the day, I got to meet his staff and his team. You know, I can't remember all of their names, so I won't mention any. But I will say, I've never met a bunch of people, young people, that are getting it done and getting it done right with integrity, not just getting it done for money, but getting it done with integrity and grace. And oh, what a wonderful time I have had. Who would have thought that I would be over here on the making of an entrepreneur? But when I gave my story to the man, he invited me to come, and I'm so grateful for everything that this company does, but I'm more grateful for what they're about to do, because guess what, everybody? They're about to blow up, and they don't even know it. Thank you for having me, and have a good day.